Welcome back to Braintree Today. I'm Martha Constantinidis and you're watching BCAM TV. Now we'll be getting into our latest stories from the week. Before getting into our COVID updates, on Thursday morning, President Joe Biden announced that U.S. forces carried out an overnight raid in northwestern Syria that killed ISIS leader Abu Ibrahim al-Hashimi al-Qurashi. CNN reported at least 13 fatalities during the raid, including 6 children and 4 women. The Pentagon will conduct a more thorough after-action review of the Syria raid, but senior administration officials said al-Qurashi died after detonating a suicide bomb that killed both him and several civilians. The official said, quote, "While we are still assessing the results of this operation, this appears to be the same cowardly terrorist tactic we saw in the 2019 operation that eliminated al-Baghdadi," end quote. Al-Qurashi was named ISIS leader in October 2019 after his predecessor Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi died during a U.S. raid in the same region earlier that month. Back to our COVID updates. According to data released on Tuesday by the Massachusetts Water Resources Authority, the amount of coronavirus detected in eastern Massachusetts wastewater has continued to fall in recent days. The amount of virus contaminants flowing in from communities in the MWRA's southern region is now less than 1/10 of what it was when the surge peaked earlier this year. Amounts from the northern region are less than 1/8 of what it was in its peak. Currently, the state is seeing similar amounts to what was seen in December, just before numbers began racing to new heights. Free N95 masks are now available at large pharmacies and community health centers around the country. On January 19th, the Biden administration announced their plan to issue 400 million masks to pharmacies and health centers. This effort was in conjunction with the 4 free at-home COVID tests that were just up for grabs a few weeks ago. The first round of masks were sent out just last week, and stores are expected to be fully stocked by next week. Each person is eligible for 3 N95s free of charge. No ID or insurance card is required. The following companies are participating in the program in Massachusetts, including Shaw's, Star Market, Costco, CPSN USA, CVS Pharmacy, Good Neighbor Pharmacy, Health Mart Pharmacies, LeaderNet, Retail Business Services, Rite Aid, Sam's Club, Topco Associates, Walgreens, and Walmart. As of January 31st, Braintree schools began participating in the state's new at-home COVID-19 testing program. The program is optional and requires parents to opt in if they want their child to participate. With this, the district will distribute a kit every 2 weeks to participating students. During a school committee meeting, Superintendent Jim Lee said parents received an email with instructions on how to opt in and that there is no hard deadline for students to participate. Once the program begins, the Test and Stay program and individualized contact tracing will both be discontinued, and close contacts will no longer have to quarantine. Students that opt in will be required to report positive test results to the school nurse's office and will be required to isolate at home for a minimum of 5 days from the first day of the child's first positive test. Students who test positive may return on day 6 if they have no symptoms or if their symptoms have significantly improved. The state is still monitoring and reporting health trends as cases continue to grow. Yesterday, over 106,000 molecular tests were conducted and 4,973 new positive cases were reported. Currently, 1,799 people are hospitalized in Massachusetts and 298 are in the ICU. 87 new deaths were also reported. The town of Braintree will also continue to monitor COVID data from the state. In the last week, Braintree Town Hall reported 144 new COVID-19 cases. The Town Hall website currently shows 9,282 positive cases in total. There have been no new fatalities reported in 10 months, keeping Braintree's total deaths at 136. Thanks for watching Braintree Today. We'll be right back with more after the break.
When the COVID pandemic began, scientists had been studying similar viruses for years, so they had a head start creating this vaccine. They also started making the vaccine early, hoping it would be approved after clinical trials found it was safe and effective. Learn more.
Welcome back. Police and prosecutors identified the person responsible for the deadly shooting at the South Shore Plaza on January 22nd. Norfolk District Attorney Michael Morrissey and Braintree Police Chief Mark Dubois identified the suspect shooter as Julius Hammond Desir, 19, of Maynard. They are asking the public for help in finding him. He is described as 5 foot 5 inches tall and of medium build. Desir is alleged to have shot Dejuan C. Beasley of Dorchester, who was shopping inside a retail store on the main floor of the mall, but was later pronounced dead. Investigators are asking anyone with information about the shooting to call Braintree Police at 781-794-8620 or Massachusetts State Police at 781-830-4990. Tips can also be emailed to tips@braintreema.gov. Braintree police have arrested 27-year-old Samantha Schwartz in connection with the January 22nd shooting at the South Shore Plaza that resulted in the death of 26-year-old Beasley. Schwartz was taken into custody at 3 p.m. on Thursday in Quincy and was scheduled to be arraigned in Quincy District Court Friday morning on an accessory after the fact of murder charge. District Attorney Michael Morrissey said, quote, "Additional details relative to the basis for the accessory charge may be disclosed to the court during her arraignment tomorrow," end quote. Anyone with information about the shooting is urged to call Braintree Police at 781-794-8620 or Massachusetts State Police at 781-830-4990. Tips can also be emailed to tips@braintreema.gov. Braintree officials met with Simon Property Group Thursday to discuss security at the South Shore Plaza. Braintree Police Chief Mark Dubois and Braintree Mayor Kokoris said they are working to get the mall security closer to where they want it, with more police officers at the plaza and better video surveillance on the property. Kokoris and Dubois said the mall pays for 3 police officers to patrol, but they don't believe that's enough. They want Simon to pay for more. Mayor Kokoris also mentioned the video surveillance at the mall is, quote, "a little bit behind the times," and he wants to see better cameras installed. During a phone interview, Executive Vice President of Property Management for Simon, Michael Romstad, said the mall is adding new security features like a security canine unit, more armed guards, and more security cameras. Braintree police arrested 22-year-old Darren Paul Pierre King of West Hartford, Connecticut, after officers said they caught Pierre King and another man with a stolen ATM from a Wayland store. Police said an officer patrolling the Common Street area around 3:15 a.m. on Thursday saw a suspicious vehicle parked near a church. When the officer pulled closer, he saw 2 men standing outside a dark-colored Honda CR-V with an ATM on the ground. The men tried to escape, one driving off while the other ran on foot. The driver got away after a short police pursuit, but police set up a search perimeter for the suspect on foot. At about 4:30 a.m., the K-9 team found the suspect hiding under a tarp behind someone's house. Pierre King was charged with receiving stolen property and malicious destruction of property. He will be arraigned in Quincy District Court on Thursday. Anyone with information regarding the suspect who got away is asked to call Braintree Police at 781-794-8620. The Barnes & Noble bookstore in Braintree has announced it will be shutting down, just 2 years after avoiding closure. The Barnes & Noble store on Granite Street has been open for 28 years and averted closure in 2020 despite the lease disagreement, as residents in the town showed their overwhelming support to the business and petitioned for the location to remain open. Barnes & Noble said in their statement that they are closing the store because the landlord has chosen to redevelop the space for another tenant. According to a spokesperson from Stonegate Group of Natick, the company finalizing the purchase of the previous Braintree Barnes & Noble's building said 2 businesses will open at that location. Stonegate said once Barnes & Noble's moves out of the building, they plan to divide the space, but has not yet released what businesses will take the bookstore's place. Following the school committee's unanimous support at its Monday night school committee meeting, Braintree High School is adding a co-ed rugby team this spring. The team's creation was proposed last year and organized by student Joe Driscoll, who says he got 25 students to sign a petition to create the team. And now there's more than 30 interested students for what will be a 23-person roster. Athletic Director Chris Coblin said the team will cost around $9,200 to run. The money to pay for the team will come from student athletic fees, gifts to Braintree Athletics, and an unused junior varsity cheer coach stipend. Thank you for watching Braintree Today on BCAM TV. We'll be right back with more stories in the area.
The COVID-19 vaccine doesn't contain the virus, so you can't get COVID from the shot. You may experience things like muscle aches, fever, or tiredness, but these are most likely signs that your body is building immunity to protect against the virus. Learn more.
Welcome back to Braintree Today. Now let's get right into stories around Massachusetts and the South Shore. South Shore towns are set to receive more than $7 million over the next 18 years under a broad settlement by the Attorney General's office amid ongoing opioid litigation. The current formula puts Massachusetts' share of the $26 billion settlement at $537 million. The money will settle lawsuits against opioid manufacturer Johnson & Johnson and drug distributors Cardinal, McKesson, and AmerisourceBergen. The state will keep 85% of the money and distribute 15%, or $80.5 million, to the cities, towns, and counties in Massachusetts that choose to participate in the settlement. State officials think municipalities will receive considerably more than the 15%, but provided no further details. Braintree is expected to receive over $359,000, or $19,959 per year for about 18 years. The family of Chris McCallum is suing the city of Quincy for $8 million for negligence after McCallum was punched in a post-concert brawl at the Squantum American Legion Post in 2019, from which he died. The lawsuit filed in Plymouth County Superior Court this week alleges that the city continued to renew the hall's liquor licenses despite complaints, that guests were overserved the night of the fight, that a police officer working a detail that evening left early, and that the subsequent police department investigation involved a cover-up. The lawsuit claims that Quincy police officers who came to investigate the fight intimidated witnesses into not naming the Potter brothers and did not conduct a proper investigation because their sister is a Quincy police officer. Officials declined to comment on the lawsuit. Nicole Casamatis from Quincy is being held on a $25,000 cash bail after pleading not guilty to charges of filing a false health care claim in Norfolk Superior Court last week. Casamatis is the owner of Fortitude Counseling in Quincy. Assistant Attorney General William Champlin said in court documents that she falsely billed Medicare for $151,000 for services she never provided between 2019 and 2021. Judge Beverly Canone ordered her to be held on a $25,000 cash bail. Casamatis is already being held on $1 million surety in a case the Attorney General's office brought in November, in which she faces 2 counts of medical assistance fraud by a provider, 1 count of filing a false health care claim, and 2 counts of larceny over $1,200, according to online court records. A bridge in Weymouth is closer to being named after fallen officer Sergeant Michael Chesna. State Senator Patrick O'Connor and State Representative James Murphy, both of Weymouth, filed a bill last year asking the state to name the bridge that crosses the commuter rail tracks on Weymouth's Main Street. Chesna died on July 15, 2018, when he was shot by a man running from police. The bridge would be formally called the Sergeant Michael C. Chesna First Responders Bridge. The naming has already gained the support of the legislature's Joint Committee on Transportation and is to be approved by the Senate. On Tuesday, Buccaneers quarterback and New England Patriots icon Tom Brady announced his retirement on social media. Now 44 years old, Brady has won a record 7 Super Bowl titles and 5 Super Bowl Bowl MVP awards. He delivered New England all 6 of its NFL championships and won his 7th and final championship and 5th Super Bowl MVP trophy after leading the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to the title during the 2020 season. Brady's final season ended with a heartbreaking loss to the Los Angeles Rams in the divisional round of the playoffs last weekend. Brady's statement read, quote, "When you're in it every day, you really don't think about any kind of ending. As I sit here now, however, I think of all the great players and coaches I was privileged to play with and against. The competition was fierce and deep, just how we like it," end quote. Thanks for watching Braintree Today. We'll be right back with more in sports and entertainment.
The COVID-19 vaccine is an important tool to protect yourself and your loved ones against COVID. Getting the vaccine can help us get back to doing the things we love most. Trust the facts. Get the vax.
Welcome back to Braintree Today. Now here's Mike Wassel with the latest on Braintree sports.
Braintree and Brookline here in girls hockey, and a wraparound goal from Birchill as that breaks the ice. It puts Braintree ahead 1-0, and then here into the third period, a backhanded goal by Littlewood puts Braintree up 2-0, and that is all the scoring in this game as Braintree beats Brookline with a 2-0 shutout. It is the Jamboree now. It is East versus South, and it's South girls with a 3-point shot from the outside as East battles back, a 3-point play underneath, and then a layup to get a little bit closer here in the second quarter, but it is all South in the second half as they get a layup underneath, and Braintree again seeing some good youth action here as South with a victory over East 46-26. Moving on to the boys' game, and it is East with a comfortable advantage up ahead 11-4 before South with a 3-point bank shot that goes down, and then more from East, who is just too good in this game offensively, as it is South with a steal and a layup here in the third to stay within striking distance, but then East really opens it up late, and they win this one comfortably with a nice layup underneath, and the final score of this one 70-37 as East beats South. Now it is back to the high school games, as this is Newton North and Braintree in boys basketball, and a couple of outside shots knocked down by the Newton North Tigers, but Braintree with a nice offensive rebound and the putback by Meade to keep them close in this game, but Newton North with that continued outside shooting really opens up their advantage, and they win this one big over Braintree 80-46. Boys hockey, and it's Newton North and Braintree, and the Tigers with an early goal, but Braintree with the answering strike just moments later, and then a roof shot here in the high slot to go ahead 2-1 as Braintree with a barrage of goals in the first period, including this one here, and then a fourth strike right in front of the goal off the rebound is knocked home, and a 4-1 advantage after one. Here in the second period, Braintree just absolutely clicking on all cylinders, leading now 8-2 and a 9th strike, and the final score 9-2 as Braintree thumps Newton North. Wrestling, this is Braintree and Weymouth, and this is actually at East Middle School as Braintree with a decision win there, and then a pin here at 152 pounds as Braintree opens themselves up a pretty comfortable margin, and then Weymouth with a pin here at 160 pounds, but Braintree with a pretty easy victory here over Weymouth, 29-15. More boys basketball later in the week, and it's Braintree and Natick, as Natick with the outside shot here to go ahead by 8 points, and then the next possession, same result, a 3 on the other side of the floor, as Braintree with an answering 3 of their own, keeping it close here in this first quarter. High-scoring first half for both sides, as Braintree with a nice little scoop hook here in the lane, and it is Natick late in this game, here in the third, really opening things up, and they beat Braintree at home 77-49. Another game, boys basketball, as it is Rodriguez knocking down the shot, Braintree and Milton, as the Wildcats with a step-back 3, getting a kind bounce off the rim, as Braintree with a 3 to go ahead and stay ahead here in this game, as Braintree really starting to open it up from the outside in the third quarter, and Braintree with a win here at home, 54-40 over Milton.
Thanks, Mike. Now in entertainment, we have a few upcoming films and series to get excited for, along with an opportunity for some South Shore residents to not only be on TV, but to have their home renovated. First in entertainment, the former Josephine M. Foster Elementary School in the Braintree Highlands was transformed into a movie set last week to shoot scenes for the upcoming true crime movie Boston Strangler. Tents, trailers, and several 60s-era vehicles were seen at the location. Some cars with Michigan State Police printed on the doors were parked at the school and in the driveways of nearby homes on Thursday. The Boston Strangler centers on how the late Milton journalist Loretta McLaughlin and her fellow Boston Record American reporter challenged the sexism of the early 1960s in covering the story. They were the first reporters to connect the murders to one suspect, now known as the Boston Strangler. The Boston Strangler is the third high-profile film in recent months to film in Braintree, along with Ben Affleck's The Tender Bar, which was shot last spring and can now be streamed on Amazon Prime, and the Christmas movie musical Spirited, starring Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell, which filmed scenes at the South Shore Plaza, will premiere on Apple TV Plus this December. Next in entertainment, Hulu is in the works of a new 8-episode true crime series, The Girl from Plainville, to air on Hulu this spring with a date to be announced. The Girl from Plainville is based on the Michelle Carter texting suicide case, with Elle Fanning to play the title role. Fanning stars as Carter, the King Philip Regional High School senior from Plainville, who was convicted of involuntary manslaughter in 2017 for convincing her suicidal boyfriend Conrad Roy III to kill himself over text messages. The series is an adaptation of the Esquire article written by Jesse Barron. It explores Carter's relationship with Roy and the events that led up to his July 2014 suicide in Fairhaven. Again, the release date is to be announced, but keep an eye out on Hulu. And finally, HGTV is on the hunt for several historical homes on the South Shore to feature in the second season of its hit series, Houses with History. The series follows Plimpton couple designer Jen McDonald and historian Mike Lameau, owners of Full Circle Homes, and carpenter Rich Soares, as they refurbish historical but dilapidated homes on the South Shore. Producers are in search of antique or colonial homes in need of renovation within 30 miles of Plymouth. Homes should also be built prior to 1900, and homeowners will need to pay a renovation budget of at least $125,000. Renovations will focus on 5 to 6 spaces in each home, and homeowners must be willing to vacate during the project. To apply, go to www.highnoontv.com/casting and fill out the 52-question form that asks about your favorite memories of your home and what renovation projects might be off-limits and must-haves. That'll do it for entertainment. Thank you for watching Braintree Today. I'm Martha Constantinidis, and that's all we have for news today. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.